So the best place to start in this song is your root chord progression. The song itself starts on a C minor, but it only holds for a second. It's C, E flat, and then G. It only holds that for a second before going to the beginning of the loop, I like to think of it as. You have a G minor, G, B flat, D, an E flat minor, E, G flat, B flat, and then a C minor, C, E flat, G. And when you're going through the loop, these two are going to get held for half the time that this one gets held for. These two are half notes, and then this one's a whole note for like its entire measure. This one gets its own measure, these two split a measure. So you're going to want to think of these two as being measure 1, and then this guy right here, the C minor, being measure 2. If you think of it that way, it's going to make things a lot easier for when you're learning like all these little extra instrumental parts going on in the background. It's a really spastic kind of song, but if you break it down, it's a little easier to predict. At the very beginning of the song, you're going to hear a vocal sample that says something like, something hold me close, something like that, whatever. The notes for that are B flat, C, D, D, C, D. And then that comes in usually on the and of the third beat, if that makes sense. And it can come in either measure. It usually comes in, it's right at the beginning, usually in measure 2 on the and of beat 3. So if I'm playing along, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and, that's when it comes in. So 1 and 2 and 3 and, it's right there. So if I'm playing along, that's usually where it comes in. There's also like a piano glissando. If you don't know what that means, it means you pick like a chord or something like that and you just kind of roll through it as opposed to hitting everything straight. So there's a piano glissando through a G minor 7th in its first inversion, composed of B flat, D, F, and G. And you roll through this chord as opposed to hitting it just straight. And that usually comes on the 2 of measure 1. So if I'm playing along, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See how that came on the 2? That's usually where that shows up. Now there's one other extra piano line that you're going to need to learn. The main part of it is the one that kind of recurs through the rest of the song. That's going to go F, A, D. And that usually comes on the 1 of measure 1 in your loop. So if I'm playing along, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. That's usually where it shows up. At the very beginning, the Weeknd adds in a little extra part to that line, and that comes in on the 1 of measure 2. So if I'm playing along, and the notes for it are G, F, C. So if I'm playing along and I want to play the whole piano line, from there it's really up to you. These things show up and they're really interspersed throughout the entire song, and it just creates sort of a very unpredictable tapestry. You're not really sure where these things are going to show up, but those are, in terms of our loop, those are where those things show up usually. But yeah, that's all you need to know for the backing track. And the Weeknd's vocal line from the pre-chorus is going to go as follows. This is when he's singing, and I'ma love you, girl. That's going to go as follows on the right hand. D, D, F, G, A, G, G, F, D, F, D. And the first time you add in a little extra trill, C, D, C. It's not there the second time. And then when he's singing, ain't no one can stop us, that's G, F, E flat, D, B flat, C. and that just repeats again. That little that just repeats again. So the pre-chorus vocal line, once through, is going to go as follows. And then it just repeats again. Remember, the second time you take this little trill from the middle part out. Then for your chorus, your vocal line is going to be 4 of He's What You Want, G, G, B flat, C. It's 4 of those, and then I'm what you need, I'm what you need, and that's A, A, G, G. And that's going to go together with the same left hand we learned earlier. And that's What You Need by The Weeknd.